when they came to get him, knowing how militant they were in that era. We don't understand it because we in a different era. That if the police would have came and got Noble Drew Ali and he was not infiltrated, it would have been war in the streets. Period. The police was not the police you see today. They was more closer to a band of rogue KKK riders on the plantations of the South than they was with this well-organized machine that takes in all ethnic groups. It was not the same. So when Noble Drew Ali was being stalked, he was being stalked by some people called Moorish Zionist Jews. We call them dirty Moors. And we know the difference between the dirty Moors and the righteous Moors. People believe because I have no mercy for the dirty Moors, that means I don't got no love for the righteous Moors, and nothing can be further from the truth. The Conjure War required a catch turn for two different groups of people that looked similar, but they was from different stocks. They was from different backgrounds. The only way you gonna know them from us is they will sell their mama, we'll hurt you about ours. And they will sell their children, and we'll kill you about ours. Them is the easiest tests to determine the difference between them and us. They understanding the loyalty is not what our understanding of loyalty is. They think that you being disloyal if you don't tolerate they bullshit. If you don't tolerate they backbiting, they gaslighting, then you the enemy. That's not the enemy. The one that's doing the dirt, that's trying to play innocent victim while they doing the dirt. While you trying to be straight up across the board with people, they trying to swerve you, and then they think because you being kind to them that they actually found a sucker. Never knowing that they was the ones being baited in the whole time for trying to take your kindness for weakness. So, you don't tell everybody everything you know because it puts you at a disadvantage. If you want to win, you got to use strategic silence so that your silence can elicit more information than you got to tell a motherfucker something. This was wrong with relationships. The sisters think that because they've been taught this by the enemy's women, that you always got to tell a motherfucker something. You ain't got to tell a motherfucker shit. You don't owe a motherfucker a description, an explanation, an analysis, a correction. You don't owe nobody none of that. But you volunteer and give it under the pretense of, I got to tell a motherfucker something. You always need people to know what you thinking. Therefore, you can't figure out why you can't advance. They know the type of person you is. They don't say loose lips sink ships just because it sounds slick. It's not just a catchy phrase. Look, this is one of the reasons I hate social media so bad. The information that I'm giving up, I don't mind giving it up to the people that want it. It's the people that don't want it, don't respect it, and can't understand it. It's above their pay grade, It's above their disciplinary study level. And they want to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. They want me to keep giving them retarded references of secret society brotherhood after sorry reference of secret society brotherhood without ever acknowledging them niggas is all part of the brotherhood. I'm not supposed to acknowledge that and just continuously push these people references as if this is the actual facts, when all the time they telling you, these same people, history is a lie agreed upon. Who agreed on this shit? I didn't write that shit. Right? History is written by the victors who won. And what story do the victors tell to keep the ones they conquered from ever rising up, overthrowing their conqueror? They got to make them feel party to the cause. They got to make them feel patriotic. I'm not patriotic. I'm matriotic. I'm mama's boy. But I'm still my daddy's son. You got to make sure you understand that. Because just because I'm my mama's boy don't mean that I won't bounce your ass like a grown-ass man's supposed to if you need to be bounced. It's not personal. I don't go out looking for bullshit. But when they bring the bullshit to Big Mama house, I'm going to be the worst one to correct it, but I might not be the first one. I'm going to be the worst one. Because whatever I decide, I'm coming in on 10. And the reason I'm coming in on 10, because they only going to call me when they done exhausted 1 through 9 already. And my birthday is 11/10. And this video started at 11/10. You do the math. Speak the truth, shame the devil, and awaken the masses. Y'all got to be able to shake free the paralysis of analysis, as Ray Hagen says. Shake from the slumber of King Goo, as Malachi wrote about. Rise up from under the 200-year challenge of George Washington, knowing exactly what side of the water you belong. Don't be offended by the ones who say they belong on the other side, because they might be right. But you don't let them tell you where you belong when you know where you belong. It's always methods to the madness, but some people get so caught up in the madness that they overlook the method, therefore they can't follow the process, and then they end up processed. The play on words and the witty wordplay is how they've been playing on our intelligence the whole time, with they legalese and double speak in the political arena. They talking 2 different languages and they laughing at you because you only talk one. But then when we started talking Ebonics, they slammed an alarm and went into an all-out frenzy to try to teach people in the educational system how to translate Ebonics so the slave master will know if we plotting this overthrow or not. We was plotting, motherfucker, and you overthrew now. We was plotting with Ebonics and the Swahili and the Nuapu and the banger's tongue, what they call your click lingo. We was plotting. Y'all lost. We won. Big Mama boys is ready. Big Mama's girls is ready. We all want to put our foot in somebody's ass, so we starting to get impatient now. And we done been being excessively patient for an extended period of time trying to put this new world in its proper order. Because we not finna go up under the cabal. We not finna be part of none of them bullshit shenanigans that they want to run on the regular people to usurp their freedoms and their liberty as a sovereign being to walk the earth. We gonna retain our sovereign status by surrendering our nationality. We gonna retain our sovereign status by surrendering our nationality. And all of them slave catchers is trying to convince you to get the nationality. Ask them who is superior, the sovereign or the national. Soon as he tell you the national is superior, you know he a slave catcher. He might not even know he's slave catcher. That's the sad part. But remember, they look like us. They not us. They hide behind pale faces to block us out the institutions. So Big Mama invited a bunch of friendly pale faces to kick the doors of the institutions and to roll the information out into the public domain, so we don't ever have to go into their institutions to get it. All we got to do is be willing and able to do what's required as our portion of the family business, because all parts of the family is doing their parts of the family business according to their skill set, their knowledge base, and their performance ability. Everybody's going to be successful because ain't nobody going to take up something that they not versed enough in to come out victorious. And we all working together even though we working separate. We can't all do the same thing at the same time and try to get a result when you got an enemy that's watching you at every turn. You got to have different people take on the problem from a different perspective, and the person that can tie all of the perspectives together get to read the picture to the people and tell you exactly what it say. And at this point, after Mother's Day, it's all over. It's all over. Now, how they gonna roll it out, what it's gonna look like, I can't tell you the details. I'm just showing you the connected dot pictures before the crayons even get on the page. Crayons ain't even on the page, so you ain't got no color to this connected dots. I just connected all of the dots. So you looking at a silhouette in black and white. You ain't looking at a full color picture or what we call a 3D play out. But once you know what the black and white picture look like, the 3D layout doesn't alarm you anymore because you say, oh yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. It got to happen that way, right? Storms and earthquakes, floods in diverse places, all the timekeepers watching the stellar events. The almanac writers know from the stellar events what the weather pattern is. With no modern AI intelligence, they've been doing almanacs for thousands of years in the temples, in the pyramid temple priesthoods, in the Vatican temple priesthoods. So if you go get an old almanac and they tell you that it's going to rain on December 31st at 2:15, the only thing that could be altered in that almanac when it comes time to rain is it could get a little bit colder and turn into snow or sleet. But they already can tell from the stellar events and the magnetic movement of the major planets how it affects the weather patterns on the earth. This is where they even came up with an idea of creating weather manipulation. The whole purpose of weather manipulation ain't what people think it is. It's to confuse you about time. They want to confuse you about time. All time is you have to have spacers in order to map out a procession. The spacers tell you where the steps go. Just like they teach the $5 Indians how to do Crip walk by numbers, but the Crips know how to do it by feeling. They're not going to look the same. They not going to move the same. Because it's in somebody's DNA, and then the other people, it's just in their memory from being rote knowledge. It ain't what they soul know. But that second line stutter step, you can't just do that. It look easy until you start trying to do that shit and you realize only way somebody do this is they got to have it in their blood, because they learning it too early for it to only be taught to them by step. You got 2 and 3 year olds on the second line with their feathers on, strutting down the street and following that pattern, that dance step that comes from their soul. Right in step with the old lady. The 2-year-old and the old lady that's 80-something years old, both doing this second line stutter step the same. And this not in your soul. They don't even know each other. But when they break out with that Mardi Gras music and they start strutting up that street to remind us of the great procession, which is the procession of the matriarchy, but we don't know this because we don't know our history, where we used to all dress up for the celebrations. They got y'all thinking that every day we walked around with feathers in our head, like some goddamn goofies. They don't even know that shit ceremonial garb. Man, we was wearing denim, cotton-made cloth for clothes. We was wearing clothes made out of leather and animal pelts. We wasn't running around with no goddamn feathers on a day-to-day basis. That's ceremonial dress. Nobody wore that shit every day. But they had you believing we lived in teepees too. That's the same as you catching some niggas camping saying that you caught them living in the tent. We was on our way to the Gullah Wars. We had to have the tents to set up camp on route. We didn't allow the land to be spoiled by the devices of man over here like it is now. So they came over here and they did their thing. Yeah, we did. We used hemp to make fabric as well. We use hemp for so much shit, they said we got to ban this or we ain't going to never sell no plastic. Look, you can make a quality plastic out of hemp that's biodegradable and friendly to the environment, and it looks just like the plastic that they make from DuPont. It's just as sturdy and durable. The only thing is it don't take 275 years for it to break down and decay. Yeah, we was in the... Look, our craftsmen believed in quality above all other things, and that's called putting your pride in your work, right? So everything we did, we took care to do it correctly and to do it as best as the skill set that we have developed will allow every time. And we know that every time we perform the task, we're going to get better because practice makes perfect. You can't never attain perfection without the practice required to hone in the faculty, the skill, right? Some people with talent, but talent can only take you so far if you don't develop the skill to accentuate it. No, I won't be there. My finances was not I hadn't recovered from my Florida trip financially to take the trip to Philly, so I won't be able to make it. Yeah. Perfect practice makes perfect performance. Yeah. In my literature, we got something known as the 5 P's. Preparation prevents poor performance, right? This is something that we use as a guideline to the endeavors that we are about to engage in. If you understand